Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to rank all of the Universal Frankenstein babes. This is a really fun list because I haven't done one of these types of videos in a while. You know, they're really fun, they're really just subjective, personal. They're not really supposed to be mean-spirited, but, you know, regardless, you know, a lot of people, they can't even handle, like, you know, just like a guy talking about, like, a girl's looks nowadays, you know, like, I had this one person back in, I think, like, 2020 or 2019, and she had some sort of a big problem with me ranking, like, the top 25, like, most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. Like, she acted like I was some horrible person, you know, so, you know, but, so I hope that this video, that you guys enjoy it, because I love doing these types of rankings. They're a lot less stressful to do, and they're a lot more fun because, you know, when you're ranking the movies, it feels like you're doing something really important, and it feels like you're doing something that, you know, like, I gotta take this really seriously. Oh, I can't rank that there, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, let's get started. There are 9 girls. 9 girls. That's a Ferris Bueller reference. So number 9 is Ilonka, the House of Frankenstein Gypsy Girl. This character is probably the most despicable female character in the entire Frankenstein series. She's a mean girl, she's a bully, and she's just so superficial. I really don't care that she helped Larry, you know, die, because her efforts, you know, they didn't really last very long. You know, he comes back in the next movie, so that's kind of a fail. And you know, she's a pretty girl. I mean, it's just that she's a nasty person on the inside. And that's happened a lot of the times on these lists, is that, like, these evil characters will be all the way down at the bottom because they're bad. They're just bad people. And, you know, that's worse than being kind of mid. So anyways, next up is 8, which is Elsa Frankenstein from Son of Frankenstein. Just like everything else in Son of Frankenstein, Elsa was boring, and she, you know, I got this one picture of her. She just has that old-fashioned, like, motherly look, where it's just not in, like, a hot way, but just in a really, like, ugh type of way. And I don't think it's the actress. It's just that's her character that they wanted her to be in this movie. I'm sure that she's a lot prettier, that she was a lot prettier. She's probably dead. All these women are dead. But I'm sure that she was a lot prettier in person than she was in this movie. But this character, she was just really boring. There's nothing about her that really screamed like, ooh, you know. Number 7 is, you guys are going to freak out at this one, Elizabeth from the classic Frankenstein. She's pretty cute. You know, but the thing is, you marry an Elizabeth, you're not just marrying her. You're marrying her father, the Burgermeister. You know, he's got to be involved in everything. He's got to control and manipulate everything. So you're marrying 2 people here. And that's a big type of deal. And number 2, this biatch, she turns into a 17-year-old in the second movie. You know, she got sick. The actress got sick. So they replaced her with a 17-year-old. So if you date Elizabeth, you're basically saying you're going to date someone who reverse ages. And that's pretty creepy. And I don't want to do that. So, and also, her character really wasn't that strong. You know, she was kind of like a child. You know, like, she acted like a child. like, "Oh, Henry, I'm not allowed to know about your experiments." You know, she's kind of a nag, and all of that stuff. All of those factors kind of put her down here. But, you know, she seems like a nice person, you know, just no thanks. Okay, moving on. Number 6 is Elsa from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of this character in multiple ways. You know, she kind of comes off like a stronger character. You know, she does try to stop the Doctor from, you know, increasing the monster's power at the end of the movie. She does try to do a couple of things. You know, she is a little bit stronger, but at the same time, she's so weak. Like, in a lot of these Universal movies, you have the female character who all that she can do is just hug a man and then, like, just stand there and watch something happening. And, you know, if she's a really, really good character, that wouldn't be a problem, but she really wasn't that great of a character. But still, she's definitely, like, middle of the road in terms of this list. She's kind of like a vanilla cupcake, you know, she's there, but she could have more flavor. You know, she could have more flavor, she could have some chocolate, she could have some sprinkles, or she could have some chocolate chips. Just anything, put a little cherry on top, you know, but just the vanilla, nah. Number 5 is Elsa from Ghost of Frankenstein. Now, literally the only reason this character is this high is because this is Evelyn effing Anchors from The Wolfman. She is an S-tier Universal babe. That is literally the only reason, because I can't remember a single thing about this character. I remember at the end, she runs off with the male lead and there's a sunset and it's really queer. There's nothing else about her I could tell you except she's really hot and she's Evelyn Anchors. Alright. Number 4 is the Hunchback girl from House of Dracula. You know, she was actually a really good character. She's kind of loyal to a fault. And so, you know, if you got with her, you know, it would be kind of fun, you know, getting with a woman with a hunchback. You know, that'd be kind of interesting. You know, you could probably make a whole movie about that. You know, that could be like a David Cronenberg kind of movie, you know, like with like a lot of like scenes where you're just rolling around in bed with the hunchback girl. That would be the movie. That would be a David Cronenberg movie. Rolling with the hunchback girl in the hay. But this character, you know, she's loyal to a fault because she's working with this doctor. She can't see what's going on, that he turned into a monster himself. And so she ended up paying the ultimate price. And so, yeah, that's kind of a problem, because what if she gets with a really bad guy and she's just loyal to the end, and it just, I don't know, there's something about that. There's probably some sort of issue there, but other than that, I'm just kind of grasping at straws. This girl, she's really hot, she's really a nice character, and she definitely deserves to be in the top tier. It's just she is loyal to a fault. She's also kind of dependent on the doctor because she wants to get rid of her hunchback. So, you know, she's very focused on that. So who knows, like, how focused she would be on being in a relationship with someone of my importance. Number 3, I'm just kidding, by the way. Number 3 is the blonde from House of Dracula. I mean, wow. This lady, she's actually a great character, and she was a perfect love interest for Larry, and I really like the fact that he got to end that movie by getting the girl and defeating the monsters and living happily ever after. She does kind of have some strange fashion choices, and she kind of looks like Lucille Ball. Kind of. Does anyone else notice that? In fact, I want to go ahead and look her up because she's kind of interesting. Lucy! I'm home, Lucy! That's my Ricky Ritardo impression. Yeah, here she is. Martha O'Driscoll. Oh, okay. That's an Irish name. Yeah. Wow. She's got some good looks. Jesus. What the hell? She looks a lot different in some of these other movies, but wow. Guys, how did women used to look so good? Oh, she was in a Abbott and Costello movie too. Oh, that's cool. Guys, how did women used to look so amazing? I mean, seriously, like they used to, like, you see the actresses in these movies and they look flawless. They look absolutely flawless, like just not even human. Like they just look amazing. You go to nowadays and they just put like a shit ton of makeup on and think that they look good. Wow. I kind of want to put her higher. Her IMDb summary starts off with another gorgeous B-movie blonde. That's so weird. She came and went uneventfully in the 1940s? Like, that's such a mean thing to put. Her last movie was, oh, wow. She quit acting in the 40s. Wow. What happened? Wow. Weird. Oh, okay. She became like a businesswoman after she married this guy. That's pretty weird. Well, that's just... See, and that's another thing about these characters from back then, like in the 40s, 50s, 60s. They led such interesting lives regardless of the movies that they were in. So you look up just like a random girl who is in like a random, monster movie, and it's like, oh yeah, she became like a businesswoman and did all this important shit. She had this important husband. And, nowadays it's like you just have these young girls who just... They think that their whole lives are like acting. And by acting, it's just being themselves. And being themselves in like a really artificial, superficial, like Instagram type of way. Where it's like just a fake shell of themselves. So that's just more criticism of today's actresses. And then, let's see. Number 2 is the brunette from House of Frankenstein. Now, this is someone who I looked at her. I never noticed her growing up, because when I was growing up, I wasn't looking at, the actresses on screen and going, wow, boing, 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 except for Chloe from Smallville and Buffy. Those were the two they were my big celebrity crushes as a kid. And then also Danielle Harris. Those 3 were like my top 3. And yeah, but I never noticed this woman before, but I looked at her and I was like, wow, she's got to be she was probably like a big star. She was kind of like a side character. She was the main character for the little Dracula subplot, and then she just disappears and has the happy ending 30 minutes into the movie. And she is kind of a smart character. She's not too dumb. She's not too dependent on the male co-stars of hers. And she's really hot. I mean, I would say she's got like one of the best like old movie star looks I've ever seen. And I'm so surprised that she wasn't in more, because let me look her up too. She has such an interesting look. And by interesting, I don't just mean she's really hot. Where is she? Here she is. Anne Gwyn. I mean, yeah, she had a really, really interesting, unique look. Wow, she was in an Abbott and Costello movie too. See, that's so funny that all these wow, wow. I mean, just wow, guys. I mean, that is someone who looks like a classic beauty. Like just everything about her. She's got a little bit of a Judy Garland in her. She's got a little bit of Audrey Hepburn. You know, she's got a little bit of these classic stars. It's too bad that she wasn't in more and that she wasn't in like bigger movies, because it says House of Frankenstein was her biggest movie, or it's what she's most known for. That's really sad. She deserves justice. Okay, now, number one, you guys are going to freak out because I know I said at the beginning, oh, if the character is evil, she's automatically at the bottom. Well, this girl, Sandra from Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, I was actually struggling because I was like, oh shit, like she deserves to be at the top. Like she, even though she's a villain in the movie. Oh yeah, and isn't there also the Joan woman? She's not really in the movie very much though. Yeah. Well, she's Joan, you know. Oh wow, she looks really hot too though. Wow. Wow. But anyway, Sandra, she's like a European style beauty, and she looks like the perfect like Dracula love interest. And I also just think in general, like she is a 10 out of 10. Like seriously, like she is perfect in every way, shape, or form. I love her accent in the movie. And yeah, I just think that she clears every single other character on this list because she's the most interesting, she's the most unique. And that's the thing that I always look for when I look at like female characters and actresses. I look for people who are really unique and, you know, who have like a really likable quality but are also really unique. I don't try to look for like people who are really like stereotypical, blonde, you know, stuff like that, like really boring and basic, unless they're really unique, you know, like Sharon, she was the perfect blonde. Yeah. And so anyways, out of all the Frankenstein movies, out of all the Frankenstein babes, Sandra is at the very top. I would love to take a roll in the hay with Sandra. And so, yeah, anyways, I hope you guys like this video. It's kind of weird, you know, I'm talking about a bunch of dead women and talking about how I want to hook up with all of them. And so it's kind of awkward. And, you know what would be really awkward though? What if one of them, like their grandson, was watching this video and he's like, hey, I'm the grandson of Sandra. You said you wanted to do bad things with Sandra. You know, like that'd be pretty hilarious. And then please like this video, comment, and tell me how you would rank the Frankenstein babes. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest and fun videos like this. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.